Hey everyone, today's video is on how to sublimate on a wood letter. We are going to go step by step through this process and I'm going to walk you through it. The end result is amazing, and so I hope that you all take the time to try this out. I certainly had fun trying it out, and it's definitely something that I will add to my list of products. And so today we're going to be using a few different items. We're going to use a wood letter, preferably uncoated. We're going to use parchment paper, a thermal laminating pouch. You can use heat resistant tape if you'd like. We'll be using X-Acto knives, scissors. You will need your sublimation printer and paper. And we're going to use the thermal laminating pouches. So to get started, I have my parchment paper here. I'm going to put the letter down. I have my thermal laminating pouch. This is Office Depot brand. They're fairly inexpensive. This is the version for letter size, 8.5 by 11. So I'm just going to open this up and tear it in two. I am going to put the matte side down. And I'm going to do some initial trimming just so that I don't have so much to cut with the X-Acto knife. And the rest of it, you'll notice that I did leave some border, and that's because you will experience some shrinking. The rest of it, the excess, we will get off with the X-Acto knife after it has finished adhering to the wood letter. So I'm going to cover it with my parchment paper. And we are pressing it at 400 degrees. And I'm going to adjust my pressure because of the thickness of the wood. And we still need to adjust it some more. And here we go. And so I am going to press this for 60 seconds. And this should be enough time for it to fully adhere to the blank letter. Okay. I'm going to uncover it. And I see that it has adhered perfectly. So there are no bubbles in it. It's just a smooth finish. I'm going to let this cool down just a little bit before I use my X-Acto knife to trim away the excess. One of the things that you'll want to note is that you want a smooth finish. And so if you've gotten bubbles in it, it's likely that it did not fully adhere. And so you may have needed to adjust your pressure, or your temperature may not have been high enough, or it wasn't for long enough. And so now I am just going to trim away the excess. When you are trimming away the excess after you have pressed the laminate film onto the letter, make sure that you leave a little bit of border. And the reason for this is because when you press it the second time with the sublimation paper, you are going to experience a little bit of shrinkage. And so you want to give yourself a little bit of border to account for that, so that you make sure that the entire letter is covered with the laminate film when you are pressing it with the sublimation paper. Once you finish with the pressing, then you'll be able to go back to clean up any edges. All right, so we are now ready for the next step. And our next step is going to be to actually put the sublimated image. And so I chose a tie-dye image. I wanted something that was vibrant, that you would be able to really see the color come alive on the wooden letter. And so we're going to put our image down. Now, I know there are different schools of thought about tape and whether or not you should use it. I have done this before without tape and did not experience my image shifting. And so for today, I am going to continue without using tape because it worked pretty well the first time. So I'm just going to check my image to make sure that my placement is where I want it. And it is. I am going to cover it again with parchment paper. Being careful not to shift it because I placed it just where I want it. Again, I'm going to be careful and slide in my drawer in, and it needs a little bit of WD-40. And we're gonna go ahead, I am going to adjust my pressure just a little bit. And so we're going to press it again. I'm gonna press it for the full 60 seconds. And I am excited to see what this color looks like. It's always so amazing with sublimation because when you actually print it, as you know, it's going to be much lighter. But once those gases are released, once it is printed, the colors are just so vibrant. And so it's always a little bit of a surprise each time I take away the cover and see the color for the first time after pressing it. All right, and now for the reveal. Absolutely beautiful. So it's hot, so I'm being a little careful while holding it. I should not have picked that up immediately, but it works. It picked up the colors well, and so this is definitely a technique that I would recommend. You can also do this on canvases, and so definitely play around with it, explore it some. This is a great product. It's easy to do, and so I definitely would recommend it. Thanks, and make sure that you subscribe to my channel.